Why did the Mesopotamian student fail his math test? Because he couldn't figure out the square root of a pyramid. A little historical humor to set the mood as we journey back in time. Today, we're unmasking the story of Mesopotamia, a civilization that was as rich and complex as the fertile soil on which it thrived. It's a tale of human ingenuity, resilience, and of course a bit of humor, because history is never dry when you know where to look. Now that we've got our historical humor out of the way, let's dive into the rich and fascinating history of Mesopotamia. Circa 3000 BC, a new chapter in human history began in the land between two rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. This was the cradle of civilization, a land we now know as Mesopotamia. With the rise of the first cities, such as Uruk and Ur, an urban revolution was underway. These were not just random settlements, mind you, but intricately planned and organized cities, bustling with life and activity. These cities became the heart of Mesopotamia, and a distinct culture began to flourish. But what truly set Mesopotamia apart was the invention of writing. The Sumerians, one of the earliest civilizations in Mesopotamia, developed a writing system known as cuneiform. They etched symbols onto clay tablets, creating the world's first written records. This was a game changer, folks. It was like the first text message, but without the emojis. The Sumerians were not just scribes and city planners. They were also innovative thinkers who made significant contributions to mathematics, astronomy, and law. They invented the wheel, the plow, and even the concept of time as we know it today. I mean, can you imagine life without a lunch break? So, in a land sandwiched between two rivers, humanity began to write its first chapters. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, was it? Imagine trying to build a civilization on a floodplain, not the easiest task, right? Now let's take a journey back in time and picture this. The ancient Mesopotamians, with their immense resilience and ingenuity, were faced with this exact challenge. The land of Mesopotamia, cradled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, was a floodplain. This meant that the rivers, while providing a lifeline of water and fertile soil, also brought unpredictable and often devastating floods. Imagine waking up to find your crops, your home, your entire livelihood washed away without warning. Quite the predicament, huh? But wait, the challenges didn't stop there. Mesopotamia was a bit of an odd duck in the world of ancient civilizations. It was severely lacking in natural resources. Imagine trying to build a city without stone for construction, metal for tools, or wood for, well, just about everything else. So how did our Mesopotamian friends overcome these obstacles? With a dash of creativity and a spoonful of innovation, they developed irrigation systems to control the flooding and make their land more arable. They also mastered the art of trade, exchanging their surplus grain and crafted goods for the much-needed resources they lacked. Despite the odds, the people of Mesopotamia turned their challenges into opportunities. Sounds like quite the recipe for success, doesn't it? And it's a testament to their spirit that we're still talking about them thousands of years later. Ever wondered what a Mesopotamian might have had for breakfast? Well, you're about to find out. The Mesopotamians had a diet that would make a modern nutritionist pretty happy. They were the first people to cultivate grains, making bread a staple of their diet. They used barley and wheat, not just for bread, but also for brewing beer. Yes, you heard that right, beer for breakfast. But don't get too excited, it was a far cry from the bubbly brew we know today. It was more akin to a thick, porridge-like concoction full of nutrients and a little bit of a kick. They were also pioneers in farming animals. Sheep, goats, and cows were raised not just for meat but also for milk, cheese, and butter. So, a typical Mesopotamian breakfast might have included a chunk of bread, a swig of beer, and some dairy on the side. But their diet wasn't all carbs and dairy. They also ate a variety of fruits and vegetables, including onions, garlic, apples, and dates. They even had a knack for sweet treats, using honey to sweeten their food. This ancient diet has had a profound influence on modern cuisine. Many of the foods we eat today, from bread to beer, from apples to onions, owe their existence to the agricultural innovations of the Mesopotamians. So next time you enjoy a loaf of bread or sip on a beer, remember to toast to the people of Mesopotamia. All good things must come to an end, and Mesopotamia was no exception. This cradle of civilization, this birthplace of so many firsts, unfortunately had its time in the limelight and then it was over. But why did it fall? What happened to this once thriving civilization? Several factors contributed to the fall of Mesopotamia. One of the most significant was the series of invasions by foreign powers. The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Persians, and finally the Greeks, under Alexander the Great, each took their turn to seize control. With each invasion, the original culture, traditions, and governing systems of Mesopotamia were eroded, leading to its eventual collapse. Internal strife also played a part. The various city-states of Mesopotamia were often at odds with each other. These internal conflicts weakened the region, making it easier for foreign powers to swoop in and take control. But even as it fell, Mesopotamia left an indelible mark on the world. The innovations and advancements that originated in Mesopotamia still influence our lives today. The concept of the city, the development of writing, the invention of the wheel, the establishment of law codes, these are all gifts from Mesopotamia. It was here that humans first began to record history, to create art, to build on a large scale, to organize themselves into complex societies. In many ways, we are all Mesopotamians. We live in a world shaped by the ideas and inventions of this ancient civilization. Every time we write something down, every time we drive a car, every time we walk down a city street, we are living out the legacy of Mesopotamia. And so the sun set on Mesopotamia, but its legacy lives on in every corner of our modern world. Even as we look back on its fall, we appreciate its rise and the many ways it continues to touch our lives. Mesopotamia may have fallen, but it is far from forgotten.